you active on social media at all?
Social media?
Are you active on it at all? Like Facebook or Instagram or
Twitter?
Twitter? Are there any trends you see on Twitter that maybe a lot of college kids or maybe high school kids or young adults participate in or talk a lot about at all? Because social media can be sometimes a good source for finding, like what's in or what's cool at the time. So is there anything you see on Twitter?
American students use Facebook rather than Twitter, right?
Could you repeat the question?
American students use Facebook rather than Twitter, right?
I wouldn't know. I'm not super big into social media. I don't know how Twitter works. Is Twitter just typing words, or does Twitter use pictures or website links to communicate? What does Twitter use? Does Twitter use, like, do you just type out something?
Oh, yeah.
Or do you, like, post pictures on it? Or what do you do on Twitter? Okay. And do you use hashtags on Twitter at all?
I don't use, but sometimes I see.
Do you have a lot of friends that use different hashtags on Twitter?
I usually don't follow.
Who do you follow?
Just personally don't know. Interesting person.
Like famous people?
Not famous, but not friends, not famous, but
Bloggers?
bloggers, just ordinary people. But
Like people who post content that you find interesting? Kind of? Okay, so do these people have like a lot of followers on Twitter?
Yeah.
Okay, so what are the kind of people that you follow, or what's the kind of content that you follow on Twitter? Do you like follow food accounts or people who post funny videos? Or I don't know. I know a lot of girls that follow a lot of DIY pages, like the crafty pages. I don't know if you follow those at all.
There's no specific category. I just follow people who sometimes academy.
Memes? Is that what you said? Memes? Yeah. Is that what? I don't know. Is that what you said?
No, academy.
So I mean, you could follow like a huge variety of people.
people post something funny and
Jokes
uh,
or funny stories?
yeah, or learning things, or professor. University professor.
So like, you could choose one of the pages you follow that maybe has a lot of other followers and talk about how that kind of content maybe is a trend among people. You want to be careful because you want to find things that maybe a lot of other college students or young adults might also follow. Like, for example, if your target were young people, because I don't want to use what you're doing as an example, but if your target were young people, you might follow a page that advertises a lot of toys and talk about maybe how the types of toys, like I know, like action figures are really big right now. So you could talk about how like maybe action figures are becoming more popular right now or making a comeback, and then you could try talking about maybe why such a trend would be occurring. So like, can you think of like maybe a type of content that might be popular among younger adults or like college students? Like, let's see. As a college student, like, do you live on campus or do you live like in an apartment?
I live on campus.
You live on campus? And so, what are some things that you have to deal with differently on campus as opposed to maybe living at home or living like with your parents or something? What are some different things that you need to be able to know how to do that maybe that you didn't have to know how to do before? Like, do you have to be able to cook your own food sometime?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't cook by myself. I usually go to cafeteria.
Okay, that one's the best then. Did you like decorate your room at all?
I don't.
No?
Okay.
I'm trying to help you. I have no idea. Because, like, for example, you know, like those cooking pages that talk about easier ways to cook things?
It's there.
Like cooking hacks? No. Well, like, for example, I've noticed an increase in the use of, like, cooking hack pages where, you know, it's like, here's an easier way to cook pasta than the normal way, for example. I know that's popular among college students because especially when you get a little older in college, you have to like start living on your own and cooking for yourself. And so maybe if you're not good at cooking, you would look up something like that. So I know a lot of younger people, like you and me, look up pages like that, for example. Is there like another example of a page or like a type of content that would be maybe more useful for college students maybe? Like that could teach a skill or something that maybe you need to know if you're living on your own as opposed to living with your family like you do in high school? Like what's maybe a skill you've had to learn since coming here?
Skill.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Is there some kind of skill or something you've had to learn how to do since coming to the U.S. that you maybe didn't have to know while you were in Japan?
I have no idea.
Do you travel a lot?
I used to.
Used to? Was that like more in high school or in college?
Yeah, college.
And then, because you could maybe use that like, well, for example, you traveled all the way over here for college, right? So, could you maybe talk about maybe traveling in college maybe as a trend? Because if you think about it, there's like a lot of, like there's a pretty big foreign exchange program with UNK, right?
Yeah.
Like you know a lot of other foreign exchange students?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so there's not only travel in terms of like foreign exchange students, but like you said you don't have like a lot of American friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. But do you think there could be a trend just in travel in general, maybe not just for school, but like just for fun travel too? Like, do you ever for fun travel around? You know, like not for education or college, but do you ever just, you know, like go on road trips or day trips somewhere? Or go on like little vacations just for fun? So you could talk about that, because
I told you that earlier.
it might be a little difficult since you're not super familiar with like maybe American students. But you could talk about maybe maybe the popularity of travel at this age, because I know traveling is popular with people this age because you know you're like newly independent. You're old enough, I think, to be able to travel on your own. And so you could talk about the different types of travel that maybe people your age engage in. So like travel for school, i.e. Travel abroad programs, traveling for fun, like little road trips, or, because I don't know if you've ever taken a road trip this year at all. Have you taken any road trips this year at all?
Yeah.
Yeah? And so, like, do you enjoy traveling a lot? Just kind of exploring? Is that why? Is that you kind of just like exploring and travel?
Yeah.
You enjoy it? Yeah, see? So you could talk about how people your age maybe really enjoy travel, really enjoy independence, and so maybe they travel a lot of different places or something. That could be a trend that you talk about, do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah? And so, what kind of things could you talk about with that trend? Like, usually with trends, what kind of things do you usually cover in topics like that? Like, what's one thing you usually want to know about a trend?
What I want to. Sorry. Okay.
So, I don't know how many like trend topics you've done, but when you're talking about like a trend or something popular, what are some like basic things that you usually want to know about that trend, or you want to like inform your audience about that trend?
The trend is chocolate, right? So